Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us for another lesson with our wonderful teacher, Jack Stockton. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, a nice Halloween week. You get a lot of candy. I had to beg some candy off my kids, and they are not generous on that front. We'll have to work on that. Thank you all for jumping in the chat already. Hey there, Sandra, Ingrid, Maggie, Patricia, Verona, Phil, Julie, everyone else who already said hi. If you're back after a spell, maybe you've taken a break or you're relatively new to the class, please say hi. In this chat below me, you'll be able to respond to Jack's questions. I really want to encourage folks to ask your own questions of Jack. Please don't worry if, the more experienced members of the class might already know the answer. You asking the question does a service to a lot of us in the class. So speak up. We'll all make mistakes together. We'll all learn together. As you all know, if you run into any tech trouble, please don't leave that in the chat. All the regulars can say this with me. Instead, wait a second, see if things improve. If they don't, you can try refreshing your web page. It was a sunny day over here. Nice sun. Click on that circular arrow you probably see at the top of the web page. If you don't see that, just close the page and you can enter again from the email that I send you before each lesson. And of course, right above me is a link where it says click here for support right up there. Click on that and you can get our recommendations as well as our backup links, including a live stream in case the technology just isn't behaving today. Let me click the record button so that we can get started. Ivy's here. And in the chat, which means we're good to go, I think. So click and record. I got a new little toy here to enable me to speak with a quieter voice. So if you hear me getting too excited, send me the secret symbol and I'll know to calm down. All right, here we go. The recording is active. Welcome back to the class. Everyone watching by replay, we're sad you couldn't be with us live, but very grateful to have you with us from the future. Hope everything's going well over there. If you have questions about today's lesson, you can leave it for Jack on the class page. He does an amazing job replying to our questions there, and we'll all keep learning there. We can stay in touch throughout the week as well. I'm sure Jack will let us know about Wednesday's lesson, the improver lesson, but just a reminder, all of you are invited to attend there if you'd like to sort of shore up on what might feel like the fundamentals to you, those of you with the more experienced class. All right, let's get to it, shall we? Let me find Jack and call him on up to the stage if you'll join me with a warm virtual welcome for our teacher. Here he comes. Hey there, Jack.
Good morning.
So, Jack, did you dress up for Halloween?
No, I did go to a Halloween party on Saturday. My friend Jenny invited it to me last minute. But no, most people hadn't made an effort. But there were two men who had like facial masks, and they were identical. So obviously the same person had done them up. And they had like, kind of bits of bone coming off their mouths and, the full kind of Day of the Dead kind of.
Next year, Jack, next year, you and me will.
Yeah.
Yes.
No
promises.
We'll work on that one for sure. But no, it was fun. I must apologise to Sandy and others. I thought it was signalling this week, but it's not. Signalling's coming up in a few weeks' time. But we're doing to draw or not to draw. Is that
be a good one.
Drawing with a pen, or what do you think?
Yeah. Did everyone bring their pen and paper? I hope so.
Anyway, no, all's good. And actually, yes, and we're getting ready for our promotion, aren't we? A week on Wednesday.
That's right. So just a quick early heads up. A week from Wednesday during the improver class next week, not this week, at 11 a.m., Jack, we're going to be opening up that lesson for friends to come visit. We hope folks will, decide to keep learning. This one's more geared for the improver level, but I think folks at your level will also find a lot to learn from it. Jack, am I right in that?
Yeah, it's coping with intervention and asking for a stopper when the opponent's overcalls. It's a very useful lesson. And the idea is for, very kindly, I know our students are excellent at getting their friends in. And, people do like a free lesson. And hopefully it just gives them it showcases how instructive these online lessons are. Also, what fun we have. And I think, people don't realize what the online lessons are like until they actually see one.
Y'all, yeah, y'all did such a great job inviting folks for the forcing or non-forcing. So start spreading the word. But again, I'll send out more information. No need to worry about anything just yet.
You'll send an email, Bashir, I think, in a day or two, just letting everyone know. Other than that, I think I should probably get on.
Let's do it. I'll be here to learn. Otherwise, sing out my name and I'll turn the camera back on.
Great, Bashir. See you on the other side. And he's got a very fancy microphone, isn't he? Right, morning, everyone. Let's get going. To draw or not to draw? That is the question. Well, not drawing, pictures, to draw trumps. But just before we do, Derek, one of our loyal students, sent in this hand here. Hang on a second. Where's it gone? Oh, it's not there. I'm going to have to look at it. Yeah, no, we'll look at it later. The slides are slightly in the wrong order. When do I draw trumps? Well, 60% of the time, roughly. You'll draw trumps even if you have a singleton or void and dummy most of the time. Because very soon, you'll be drawing 2 of their trumps for one of yours. I like to call it the supermarket special. There you go. That's the best supermarket I could come up with. 2 for 1 or bog off. They don't really do bog off anymore, do they? Let's play a hand on BBO straight away, because it's all about playing hands today. It's a declare a play lesson. 1 spade by North. Not strong enough to bid 2 clubs. Club players do overcall 2 clubs on rubbishy hands like that, but it's vulnerable. Even non-vulnerable, I wouldn't overcall on 5 to the King Jack, despite having 12 points. It's more to do with the quality of the suit. And most experienced players do like a 6-card suit to overcall at the 2 level. I don't like to overcall on 5, 3, 3, 2 at the 2 level. What does South respond with their 7 points, everyone? First question of the day. And on that note, it's a warm welcome to those watching in replay. I know many of you do. Trisha and Ingrid are first off the blocks. Well, we must bid with 6 points. I think that's important. But do we bid 1 no trump, like Graham and Carol are doing, the double act, one of our 2 double acts? Or do we bid 2 hearts? The jury seems to be out on the live chat box. Fair number of you bidding 2 hearts. Fair number of you bidding 1 no trump. Well, what I would do, I'd be tempted to bid 2 hearts, but I would apply the rule of 14, which I stick to like glue, which is, for responder, it tells you if it's strong enough to bid a new suit at the 2 level, not the 1 level. So we add up the total points in a hand, which is 7, and add that to the number of cards in our longest suit, which is 6 hearts. That only comes to 13. So very well done if you put this hand in the dustbin where it belongs. 1 no trump. I stick to the rule of 14 like glue. Problem is, you bid with 2 hearts. A number of you did. I know, don't cry at once. But North will now bid 3 diamonds, and you're far too high. Yeah. Well, actually, I'd bid 2 spades personally on the North hand, but you are far too high. North rebids. I would nearly always rebid with 5 and 4. What about South now? Yeah, 1 or 2 of you forgetting the rule of 14. So this is a timely reminder. Very useful rule. One that I don't actually break. Occasionally break the rule of 20. They have an expression we were talking about the other day. Rule of 20 is for students. Rule of 19 is for teachers. Quite an instructive hand, this one already, I think. Worth the admission fee alone. It's very instructive on the bidding. Well, normally would go back to partner's first suit, but you know you're going back to a 5-1 fit, probably. So here, Gerald, I don't understand your question. Can you unpack why you bid 2 spades with the North hand? I haven't bid 2 spades with the North hand. Oh, I see. Oh, rather than bidding 3 diamonds, if partner went 2 hearts. Well, 3 diamonds takes the bidding too high, Gerald. Better to bid a 5 card. So had the bidding on 1 spade, 2 hearts, everyone, I'd rebid 2 spades on the north hand. Yeah. 3 diamonds takes us too high. So it's fine, Gerald, every now and again to repeat a 5 card suit. And just by the way, I hope you enjoyed your weekend at the Millstream. So here, what we can do is bid 2 hearts. So this would show, obviously, a hatred of partners' spades and diamonds, a dislike, and a 6 card suit with roughly about 6 or 7 points. So fine to bid a dustbin and then bid your suit. What does North now do? Well, most of the time, everyone, they would pass. Correct. Yeah, damage limitation. The more bidding that North does, the worse. 2 no trumps by North here. Shows a strong hand, by the way. It would show 17, 18 points, looking for game. Yeah? 1 or 2 of you bid 2 no trumps? Yeah, no. That's 17, 18. Inviting partner to bid game with 8 or 9. Okay? Very instructive, that, wasn't it? Stick to the rule of 14 like glue, would be my advice. Ten of clubs lead. Although I'd be a bit dubious about leading the 10 of clubs when I've got king, queen, X of hearts. But anyway. Right. Well, what's the main question I'm asking? I thank partner for the dummy. They've wished me good luck in a robotic way. What's the main question do you think is going through my head now when I look at this hand? Correct, Sam Manners. Do I draw trumps? That's going to help me with the strategy. So, and the next thing I would always do is examine the opening lead. That should only take a second. I'm thinking that must be a singleton or maybe a doubleton. Okay, but remember, I've got the 9 here, so it can't be top of a sequence. And 100% it would deny the king. So which card are we going to play at trick 1? Yeah, that 10 is either from a singleton or a doubleton. It can't be from anything else. Yeah, so we must put on the ace. I don't really want to signal with the 8 of clubs because that might be useful later. Okay, so I don't see any point signaling with the clubs. Right, so which card do we play next from the dummy, specifically? You're watching in replay. Are you going to draw trumps on this hand or not? Yes or no? It's a simple question. The answer is yes, because very soon we're going to be doing a 2 for 1. Do you remember that game show, 3, 2, 1, with Ted Rogers back in the 80s? Yeah, so let's do that. And you see already, look, we're doing a 2 for 1. Yeah, my favorite thing when I go shopping, they don't really do 2 for 1 much now, do they? I'd be nervous about switching to a diamond with the queen to there, so they switch to a spade. Second player play low. And things are all going rather swimmingly so far, aren't they? Should we hope that hearts divide 3-3? It's a 36% chance. Not that you particularly need to know that, but it's quite useful. I don't carry many percentages around my head, but the one I do is that 3-3 is 36%. Anyone 4-2? Well, I'll tell you it's 48%. So clearly 4-2 is more likely. Continue with the spades. Right, well, hearts were 3-3. We've only got 7 tricks there. What do you think we should do now? We're in Got no obvious way of making tricks, have we? What do you think we should do now as declarer? A kind of a trick, sure. We're going to make 7 tricks here, but no hugely obvious way of making the 8th. Well, when there's no obvious way of making an extra trick, as Sam Manis has pointed out, we like to lose the lead, put the opponents on play. But before we do that, I think we should rattle off a couple of trumps. See if anything, put a bit of pressure on the opponents. Diamond can go. Notice I'm keeping the Queen X of clubs in dummy. Okay, quite important. Now, that's good. So we rattled a couple. Nothing hugely interesting has happened. Which loser do we play now, though, Margarita? Be more precise. Assumpta, good morning from Ireland. Beetle. Beetle's been swimming in the North Sea. Maybe not this morning. KTP, Linda. Say a few hellos. Fiona. Anne, Amanda L. They're all flashing past me now. Sally AD. Louise, Anne Helmsley. Anne's in Harrogate. Leslie W. Valerie, yes. We play a diamond to the 10. And you see what's happening. East, O'Brien and Christie, we got 2 double acts this morning. It's going to be end played because they can take their spade winner and they can take their king of clubs. But on the last trick, they have to concede a trick to our queen. So it's all rather neat. Definitely would be the top score. Well, one of the top scores that you get some funny ones on the Traveller or on the Bridge Maze. But disciplined bidding, 2 no trumps would be a disaster, as would 2 spades. The only making contract was 2 hearts. Interesting. So very interesting in the bidding. Good refresher for the rule of 14, whether it's been a new suit at the 2 level. You don't use it at the 1 level because you just need 6 points there. And then on the play of the hand too, drawing out the trumps. Yeah, not an easy hand, Ingrid. Let's have a look, go back to the classroom. Yeah, 60% time you'll draw trumps, even if your trumps are very poor between the 2 hands and you have winners in the 3 outside suits. That would be a time for drawing trumps. The danger then, of course, rather like on the first hand we've just played, is that if you don't draw the trumps, the opponents make them separately. Yeah, so instead of, making just 3 trumps, if they divide 3-3, they sometimes make 5 or 6 because they get in a cross ruff. The main time not to draw trumps, which most of you will be aware of, is when you can create the void on dummy. So the process of that should say 1, 2, 3, 4, by the way, but number 1 is look for a side suit longer in your own hand than dummies. Number 2, create that void and dummy straight away. Might involve losing a trick or 2. Finally, well, not finally, then trump the loser on dummy once or twice. And then you finally draw trumps at the end. That's the technique. That's the main time we don't draw trumps in bridge and the most lucrative. So, given that, on the Jack of Diamonds lead, how would you play 4 spades on that hand there? How would you play 4 spades? Just waiting for the answers to come in. Do we draw the trumps by finessing to the Jack? Or do we do something else? I would actually win in dummy, I think, here with the Ace of Diamonds, preserving the Queen to my own hand. Should we look at the answer? Actually, the best way of playing, I'm winning with the King of Diamonds, duck a heart to retain communication. It's the best way. You're going to lose a trick, lose it early. Win the diamond return and play Ace of Hearts and ruff a heart in dummy. Actually, really the best way of playing it is, having won the ace of hearts, cash the ace of spades in case of a singleton queen, ruff a heart in dummy, then take the spade finesse. Okay, so you've got that order. Win the diamond, duck a heart, win the return, diamond, ace of hearts, ace of spades, 7 of hearts ruffed in dummy, then take the spade finesse. Good. Let's play hand 3 on BBO. Well, it's hand 2, actually. One I prepared earlier. So, yes, concentrating on drawing the trumps today. Right. Yes. 7, 8, 10, 15 points. What do you open with that? 1 heart or 1 club? Playing Akol. Of course, 4-card majors, what I teach. Neil, good morning. Neil's relatively new. Hillary, Jill Walker, Grant, Julie Watt. Yeah, you're all bidding 1 heart. Well done. You didn't fall into the trap. And North bids 4 hearts. There we go. Fairly simple. Actually, 4 hearts, funny enough, better contract than 3 no trumps. Because you're very weak in diamonds. Okay, well, I'm just thinking about the hand, whether to draw trumps or not. Counting losers as well. As you know, I need to count losers. Potentially 4, I would say. 3 hearts and maybe a club. Let's win with the 8, shall we? And what do we do at trick 2? Do we draw the trumps? Or do we do something else? There is a lady who plays British near Harrogate whose name shall remain anonymous. It's not part of the class. Has a phobia for drawing trumps. Finds it quite amusing that she never draws trumps. But I'm not sure her bridge partners do. Maybe you've played with this lady around Harrogate. Yeah, no, she's great fun. But yeah, never draws the trumps. Yes, well done. So let's look at the chat box. Most of you, in fact, nearly all of you, Peter A is with us. He's from Harrogate. Linda, Julie G, Pauline. Yeah. There's no reason not to. Returns a club, dummy's weaker suit. No need to take the finesse just yet. Come back to that later. Also, it might be a singleton, mightn't it? And well done. I'm not going to ask the question because I know you're going to give me the right answer. You continue with trumps and look to see what happens, you see. They both fall. The king and queen are falling under each other. What does East do best to do now, do you think? Having won the king of hearts. Yeah, I mean, on this hand, there's no need to create a void in dummy. Won't give us extra tricks. Really just likes the club finesse, doesn't it? Notice we didn't take the club finesse straight away. A, because it might have been a singleton club from East. And B, West might have had a singleton queen. Although unlikely, because they probably would have led it. Yeah, good play to play the ace of hearts. They're doing a 2-for-1 look. 2, 1. Yeah, well done. And then they resume with the clubs. But this time we do finesse, of course. 8 ever, 9 never. Yeah, when you're missing the queen. King of clubs. And I'm going to claim the rest. They're all winners, aren't they? So we'll just do that, save a bit of time. Well done. In the classroom, I would say, when this was played before lockdown, 30%, 40%, got the fear. They said, oh, our trumps are so bad. And East-West made them separately. And they ended up going 1 or 2 down. Philippa, I did say I didn't finesse the club first time around, but I will repeat it. A, because it might have been a singleton club from East, in which case we'd have got a rough. And B is we don't need to take the club finesse just yet. It can wait. Oh, sorry. So B, West might have had a singleton queen. Yeah. So best to play the ace first as a safety play in case West had a singleton queen of clubs. Also, East might have had a singleton there. Jill, when you play Ackle, you don't give bidding space when you open. You always open the major suit first with equal length with the minor. Playing Ackle, it's responder who bids the cheapest of fours. You might say brave, Amanda. I would say experience. Right, should we move back to the classroom? Here's another one for you. How would you play four spades after West leads the Jack of Diamonds? Have a little look at that. Again, I'd be counting losers. Quite tricky to count losers here, but definitely a heart, maybe a diamond, maybe a club. How are you going to play four spades, everyone? Clearly winning the diamond. I'd probably win on dummy. And this is one to, yeah, what would you do if you're watching in replay? I hope you're enjoying this lesson on drawing the trumps. Yeah, this is definitely one. None of you have fallen into my trap, I don't think. But yes, win the king of diamonds and draw trumps in 3 rounds. Do not make the mistake of trying to rough hearts in your own hand. This will not give you extra tricks. Yeah, good. We don't trump in the long hand. You're going to make those 5 trumps anyway. Ace, king, jack, 9. You're not going to make them twice. It just weakens your hand if you start trumping hearts in your own hand. Trump on the dummy. Good. There you go. And that's, again, just what I've been saying. It's dummies trumps that you need to utilize to create the void by creating a void before you get rid of them by drawing them. Yeah. Okay. Ooh, hand 4. Not quite yet for the more experienced. Just let's do this third hand. One for the more experienced coming up in a bit. Oh yes, let's have this one here. Good to get wrong answers, by the way. Really is. That's why the chat box is so brilliant. Really, it's the only way you learn in bridge is by making your own mistakes. Yeah, not me telling you or reading them in a book or something. Too weak for a week 2. 7, 10, 18, 19, 23 points. It's 2 clubs. Oh, good, Victoria. Nice to have you back in the fold. That's right, Leslie W. Yes, occasionally if you make a transfer, then the reverse is true. The hand is played upside down, if you like. Okay, where are you on the south hand? Are you 2 spades or 2 diamonds with your 9 points? Well, normally it's 2 diamonds, but you can make a positive reply with 8 or more points and a good 5 card. So typically 2 of the top 3 honours. But those spades are so good that I think 2 spades good. Most of you agreeing with me. I mean, 2 diamonds isn't a crime. It's not a bridge prison offence. Yeah, no, that's right, Peter. Such a good suit. North bids 3 spades. Remember, we're in a game-forcing situation here. Okay, so obviously no one can stop short of game. So North doesn't need to rush it because South could now cube it. You know, if South had an ace, they could cube it or something. So 3 spades shows 3 card support. We're obviously in a forcing situation. What do you think South does now with their 9 points? I think, yes, a bit of 4 no trumps, Tony. Good morning, Tony Mac. Stuart's with us. No, you don't actually need to alert it, I don't think. Should we practice our Roman key card? Interesting. For those who don't do Roman key card, you'd bid 5 clubs. Actually, this is interesting. So for those who don't do Roman, I imagine the class is 50-50. Some will do normal Blackwood, in which case 5 clubs is naught or 4 aces. We've actually got 4. For those who do Roman key card Blackwood, you've got all 5 key cards, which is bizarre because that's extremely rare that the person who bids 4 no trumps doesn't have a key card, i.e. the 4 aces nor the king of trumps, which is here the king of spades. It stumped you, Sam. I believe, and I'm almost never done this, I believe it must be 5 no trumps there. All 5 key cards. What else can it be? Okay, so that's interesting. For Roman key card users, 5 no trumps must say I've got all 5. Yeah, no, I haven't come across it. I don't think I've ever done this, Peter, before. Oh, you think it's 2 or 5, Katie? Yeah. Anyway, it doesn't really matter because whatever happens is South is going to bid 6 spades. Yeah, would confuse me as well, Maggie. I'll check on it. Okay, so 6 spades it is. And what lead would you make against 6 spades? Yeah, whatever happens, you're ending up in 6 spades. I'm not sure I'd gamble 6 no trumps, Tim. No, not with a small doubleton in diamonds, even at duplicate. This partner might only have 23 points. You know, balanced. We might need a rough. Yeah, I think a singleton generally is pretty good lead in a slam. Right. Well, thank you, partner, for the dummy. I'm just deciding whether to draw trumps or not. I'm counting losers. Typically a diamond, a club, a heart, but the heart can be taken care of. So I'm thinking about the club loser. I'm thinking as a way of getting rid of the club loser. Okay, and then I have to think back to the opening lead. The 9 is clearly a singleton or a doubleton. So which card do we play from dummy? Remember, 2 of these hands are playable yourselves by clicking on them, by pressing the play button. And then a very useful feature, which I'm spending quite a lot of time on each week working out for you, because I'm having to reprogram it, is to press the next button. And that tells you how I would play the hand. Yes, clear to play the ace. Good, we don't want to go down at trick 1, do we? That's always a bit embarrassing. That sometimes happens. Which card specifically do we play from dummy at trick 2? If you're watching in replay, are you going to draw the trumps here or delay? Which card specifically from dummy? Come along to the Wednesday class at 11. We're doing transfers. If you've never done transfers before or rusty on them, come along at 11 o'clock this Wednesday for transfers. We don't do them on this channel anymore because most of you play them already, if not all. But we do them on the Improver class this Wednesday at 11 o'clock. So this is definitely a hand to create a void in dummy. So we start with the ace of hearts, the higher card from the shorter holding, followed up by the 9. Good, we've created the void. And not looking at trying not to look at the east-west cards. I'm not. Which one are we going to trump with, do you think? Some quite fun hands today, even though I say it myself. Quite challenging, some of them, which is good. You need to be challenged. It has to be a high one, yes. You don't want to send the boy to do the man's job. That's what, if you were to trump with a 2, that's called, in bridge terminology, sending the boy to do the man's job. You get overruffed by the 7. So well done. If you can afford to trump high, trump high. That's the motto generally. Good. Now which card do we play specifically from the dummy? Morning, Victoria. Janie. I rather like these coloured spots that we've got with your initials on now. Oh, Sam's got a red one. Was it pink? Anne Emsley, good morning. Jane Holbert. Yeah, ace of spades. Now we can draw the trumps. Starting off with a higher card from the shorter holding, not the 2. Trumps are 4-1, but that doesn't put us off here. Jack of spades. Good. Well, trumps a draw. We've roughed a trump in dummy. Sorry, roughed a heart in dummy. We've drawn the trumps. We're going along nicely. Can afford to lose one trick. Which card do we now play from our own hand? Again, trying not to look at east-west. I know it's not so easy. And then next week, with you lot, we are doing Responder's First Bid. Very useful. Right. Yes, of course, we can lose a diamond. Now, it's lose to win, isn't it? Morning, Scotty. Part of my Harrogate contingent. So we can lose to the king, which is fine because it's lose to win. The queen is now a winner. East doesn't want to play a club into the ace-jack, so it comes back a diamond. But a club goes away, of course. And we're now home and dry with winners. Made it look easy. I mean, I probably make every hand look easy, but they're not. They're hard hands. Much more difficult at the table with real people around you. A couple of pitfalls there. Definitely some people, when they played this hand before lockdown, took the diamond finesse straight away, went down at trick 2. Others didn't take the, create the void in hearts. Some didn't trump high. Some didn't lose a winner at the lose to win at the end by playing a diamond. So lots of mistakes you could have made there. It's actually 1430 because we're vulnerable for 6 spades. 1,430. Good. Well, that was fun. Let's go back to the classroom briefly, I think. The total cross ruff. Yes, I wonder what the caption's doing there. Do you like that one, Sam? If you have a singleton and void in both hands, you can bark on a cross ruff. Using dummies and declarer's trumps to make extra tricks. Great fun. Typically, if there's a singleton in either hand. Well, Victoria, on that last hand, if we took trumps out straight away, we'd have no trumps left to ruff the heart. Yes, Sam, that's a bridge too far, I think. That's not in my fancy dress costume. But it would be a good one, actually, wouldn't it? Yes, rough. Ooh. No, let's just introduce or reintroduce Ruff the dog. You don't see him very often, but that's Ruff the dog, one of my 2 mascots, along with Slam Duck. So that's rough for dog look. Wookiees. Yeah. Oh, tip, cash side suit winners first. Yeah, if you've got like an ace and a king, cash them first because you won't make them at the end. You're doing a total cross rough. Okay, so let's look at this one here. Queen of diamonds led. You're playing in 4 hearts. Clearly you're going to win with the ace, but what do you do next? Having won the ace of diamonds. If you're watching in replay, do you draw trumps? Do you start cross-ruffing straight away? So win the ace of diamonds. But hang on a sec, I'm going to give you, because I'm feeling generous and Bridge Prison is still full, although we are building the Bashir wing. Bashir went to look at it last week. He was on site. I think it's coming along quite well, Bashir. You'll have to tell me at the end. The Stockton wing, of course, is fully booked. Fully booked. Full with Bridge prisoners. There's the get out of jail free. I think I just need to remind you of a slide. Here. Tip, cash side suit winners first when you're doing a cross rough. So play the ace of diamonds and then what next? Yes, we look at the answer. Morning, Melissa. Are you new, Melissa? No, you've been with us a few weeks. Yeah. Yeah, I think you were at the mill stream as well. Sorry, I wasn't there. I'm there this weekend. Right. So you cash the ace king of diamonds, then you do your cross roughing. Okay. One mistake people make also is cross roughing too high too early. That's generally a mistake. So what you do is you cash the ace king of diamonds, then you rough low to begin with, and then you rough high later on. You don't waste the queen jack of hearts to the ace king early. Otherwise, you'll get over trump later. Good. We have got time for hand 5. In fact, it's only hand 4. Here we go. Actually, let's just get the order right. Let's do this one first. And then one for the more experienced at the end. Yeah, that's good. It's a 1 spade open on the rule of 20. Two diamonds by North, longest suit. Oh, I haven't pressed the button. I haven't done that for a while. Yeah, I occasionally do it. I'm generally pretty good now. Yeah, we're back. I forgot to press the button. It won't be the first. It won't be the last time. Experience, yes, Beetle, the E word. So that's the bidding so far. The bidding's actually fairly straightforward here. So I don't need to ask you. Opening lead was the 10 of clubs. Good. Well, just thinking about this hand, what do you think your strategy is going to be here? Yeah, with singletons in both hands, it's clear to do a cross ruff here. So we win the ace of clubs. A mildly encouraging 5 there. And let's start on, well, we'll start with the diamonds first, shall we? And another diamond, which is rough. Remember, we're not roughing high. Ace of spades, creating the void in spades. King of spades. We're going to do it relatively quickly. And we merrily continue on our cross ruff. But one thing we mustn't do is cross ruff too high, too soon. You'd be unlucky if you were over ruff very early on. No point east-west roughing in there. Just gets over ruff. It's pointless. So they discard. Another diamond, of course. And now you see the logic of why we've saved up our king, queen of hearts till the end. Because we can't get over ruffed. Another diamond. Ruffed again. Poor old West is having to under ruff now. Very satisfying. I love doing a cross ruff. It really annoys the opponents. Not that I like annoying opponents. And then we just give up the last couple of tricks to the oppo. Annoy would be the wrong word, Alice. I like causing discomfort to the opponents. I'm making life tricky for them. Yeah. Because I'm competitive. I do like to win. Right. We made all our trumps separately. What lead do you think would have kept us to 10 tricks? What lead would have kept us to 10 tricks? Yeah, it's worth considering a trump lead here. I think some experienced players, international players, top players would lead a trump here. Yeah, that's right, Tim. Given the bidding as well, let's go back to the bidding. No, I can't. But, given that South opened a spade, North went 2 diamonds, then they found their heart fit, leads you to believe a little bit that they might be short in their partner's first suit. Yeah, so a trump lead here would work a treat. Trick or treat. Right, I've got another hand up my sleeve for you. Bonus hand. Well, I say bonus hand. We play a lot of hands in Declare a Play lessons. East is the opener now, 1 spade. 2 hearts, normal overcall. What does North bid now? What's their best bid with 12 points, do you think? Now, are some of you forgetting? Here's a clue, though, because a lot of you have been taught this convention. You may not play it. Here's the get out of jail free. Have you forgotten the unassuming Cupid, some of you? I'm just looking down the chat box. Yes. You're allowed to change your answer. Have some of you forgotten the very useful? I don't think it comes up very often. I really don't. I can't remember when I last used the unassuming Cupid. Have you had one recently? Some of you may not have learnt it or play it with your partner, in which case it's in the replay library probably. So it's a very welcome practice of the unassuming Cupid. I think it's a relatively simple convention. You might disagree with me, but as an overcall, responding to partner's overcall, bid the opponent's suit to show, as Peter A's rightly said, 3+ cards in heart support and 10+ points. Very useful convention. Yeah, and Mac hasn't done it yet, maybe. Well, that's okay. It's an hour lesson at a later date. Oh, thank you, Stuart. See you very soon. And what does South do now with their 13 points in response to this unassuming Cupid? Well, what they do is count their losing tricks. And then, yeah, there will be, not sure where we're next doing the unassuming cube with Margarita, but it is in the syllabus. So South has a 6 loser hand. We assume 8 for an unassuming cube bidder, roughly equates with 10 points. 8 and 6 is 14. Away from 18 leaves you with a bit of 4 hearts. Good? I mean, your instinct might have told you to bid that anyway. Partner's suit. Always good to lead partner's suit. Does keep them in a good mood. And what am I thinking? I'm counting losers. 2 club losers. 2 spade losers. Yeah, tricky. Normally, I would think about playing the ace, king of spades and losing a spade and roughing a 4th spade in dummy. Yeah, that's something I would normally do, but that's not going to work. And how do I know that 2 of spades is a singleton, by the way? I can see the cards, but how would I know that anyway, even if I couldn't see the cards? This hand is for the more experienced, actually, by the way. Said on the slides earlier. Why do I know the 2 is a singleton? Well, from the bidding, Ella, correct? I know that East has got 4 or 5 spades, but also it can't be a doubleton. Has anyone said that? Oh yeah, Sam Manners has and others. Yeah. It can't be a doubleton because the 2 is the lowest card, so it must be a singleton. Good. So normally I might think to play the ace, king of spades, lose a spade and rough one in dummy. It's not going to work here. East, third player, puts in the cheapest of their touching honours. Right. Well, I thought of a cunning plan. What are we going to do next? Which card should we play from our own hand at trick 2? Is there a way of somehow garnering, that's a good word, garnering, I haven't used that for a long time, an extra trick? What's the word I've been using quite a lot? Subterfuge. So we can have some garnering. How are we going to garner? Yeah, so what we're going to do, some of you have pointed out, we're going to what we call reverse the dummy. We're going to make the dummy as South. And we're going to draw trumps with the North hand. Yeah, it's one of these very rare occasions where we trump in our own hand with the long trumps. Look how it works. It's very clever. It's something you will see in a bridge column. Preferably my bridge column in the Yorkshire Post magazine, but you can't read it online, sadly. Once a week. There we go. So now let's get on with this. So it's quite a rare thing to do. It's quite difficult to spot. Many club players, most club players wouldn't be able to spot this. Really is the domain of your club expert because you need really good trumps in dummy. Which trump are we going to play here, though? As from South. Declarer. Well, actually, it's a good idea to trump high because then we can use the low ones to access dummy. Should we go really high? Have a bit of fun? Yeah, because we're going to use the little ones to get to the King Jack 9, you see, that's why. Now we play the 2 to the 9. So we need those little trumps to access dummy. Back on with the diamonds. Again, go with the 10. Do you see what we're doing? So we're drawing trumps in the dummy, effectively, and we're trumping in the long hand. Here we go. Let's just marvel at that for a second. So this, everyone, effectively is our 10th trick. It is clever, Sam, this one, yeah. It is something you see in a bridge column or a bridge book called reversing dummy or reverse dummy. You can Google it, it'll give you lots of examples. Put in reverse dummy at bridge or something. So we're just marveling at that for a second because that is our 10th trick. Now we get to dummy with the ace of clubs. We can draw the last trump with the king of hearts, of course, and just take our spade winner. Ooh, breathe a sigh of relief. The hardest thing about that actually is spotting it, because 9.5 times out of 10, I give up the last 3. That's why, Sam, this is such a brilliant game, because there's always different levels, that you or me or others can rise to, and this one is really hard though. But I think by far the most difficult thing of reverse dummy is spotting it at the table, because 9.5 times out of 10, we're told not to trump in a long hand, which is generally declarer's hand. Yeah. What you're saying is right, Margarita. A bit of fun to finish. Rosemary's got a good question. How do you spot it, Rosemary? Yes, good question. Well, the reason I would spot it here is I would think I'm a trick short, first of all. There's no obvious way of getting a 10th trick. And what I'd be saying to myself is that the trumps are very good in dummy. That's a massive sign, the king, jack, 9. I'd say to myself, perhaps I could use the king, the jack, and the 9 to draw the trumps. And I'll be able to ruff 3 diamonds in my own hand. Okay, so we make the 3 hearts in dummy. We make the 4 diamonds 7. Okay, ace diamonds, 3 little ones. That's 7 tricks. Ace of clubs, 8 tricks. Ace, king of spades, 9, 10. But definitely you need to have good trumps in the dummy. That's the way I would spot it. Yeah, I think a reverse dummy doesn't come up very often either. So that's why it's hard to spot it. If you just remember 3 things, I'm sure you will. You're a very clever class. Draw trumps even facing a void or singleton. Nearly always. The occasional time you don't. It's what we call a scramble. But in dummy, because you'll soon be doing a 2-for-1. Secondly, and most importantly, if dummy has a shortage in the suit, create the void in dummy. That might involve losing a trick or 2 early on. Don't worry about that. If you've got 2 little hearts in the dummy and 3 little hearts in your own hand, lose a couple of heart tricks. And finally, do not trump in your own hand unless you're doing a total cross ruff or establishing dummy's 5-card suit. We didn't look at that today. That's a different lesson. Or the good old dummy reversal. It's 10:28 UK time. Thank you for your company on this rather grey, overcast Monday morning in North Yorkshire.
Thank you so much, Jack, for another fun. And thank you, everyone, especially folks who are here with us live, joining in with your questions and answers. They did pretty well today. What do you think, Jack?
They're doing very well, Bashir. No, I mean, it's quite a tough lesson here. There were some difficult hands in there.
Yes.
I mean, that first one, that 2 hearts, was really hard, where you had to exit with a diamond, and then East was end played with the king.
Is that one of the featured ones? I forgot if you mentioned.
Sorry?
Is that one of the hands that we can replay?
I'm not sure. Yeah, and I don't think that one, but there are 2 hands to replay there. I think, yeah, there'll be 2 fun hands to replay. But that dummy reversal one's quite fun, isn't it?
Well, be sure to check out those hands. And of course, if you'd like to come back to this lesson, take your time with it, ask a question about it. We'll keep the conversation going on the class page. We already mentioned Wednesday's lesson this week, the topic. What about next Monday? Did you already say?
Quite exciting bit here. So next Wednesday, of course, there is transfers, which I don't teach on a Monday morning because most of them play transfers. But anyone who wants a practice or a refresher on the transfers, that's Wednesday. Well, next Monday, Bashir, we are going back to the bidding, and we're looking at responders' first bid. So first responder, I like to call it.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Jack. Thank you, everyone, especially folks, again, making the chat the friendly and fun place that it is. Thank you for your questions for Jack and responding to his questions. Jack, lots of fun. Thanks so much.
Yeah, no, and I'm just reading down the chat box, Bashir, and I'm liking the colors now by their name. They're all color coded. So there's
maybe it's sensing everyone's aura today. So we'll see. If you come back next week, we'll see if Verona.
It was there last week as well. Everyone's got their own colour. So Madge's purple, Ella's green, Jane Holbert's got blue. Can you see it?
Yes, I can.
It's kind of fun actually. It's just a bit, adds a bit of brightness to the chat box. So lots of thank yous today. I have too many to thank the thank yous, but I do always appreciate a thank you. And they're saying it's lots to remember, very helpful. Pauline said it flew past today. That obviously means she was having fun. Margarita's liking the colours. Patricia, very useful lesson. And Beetle says, very clever of you on the chat box to match my spot to my outfit. So Beetle's got a yellow, kind of goldy colour in her. So that's all good fun. And of course, I'm getting ready for Wednesday. The beginners are flying. They're on lesson 5 now, 9:30 on Wednesday morning. So again, thank you to everyone who managed to get a few of their friends to play bridge. And we've got as you said, a decent number in the class now. And then, then the promotion on Wednesday. Hang on a second. Yes, a week Wednesday. It's coping with intervention and asking for the stopper.
Yes, that should be a lot of fun. We certainly hope to see as many of you there if you're able to attend live, but we'll make sure the recording is there for you as well.
Good. And actually, Peter A., one of our more experienced players, because I know him, great lesson, Jack. Lots of very hard hands to try to digest. Yeah, and as Peter A. said, actually spotting the dummy reversals by far the hardest thing. You create extra tricks by trumping in your own hand, using dummies trumps Bajir. Is that something you do on a regular basis, a dummy reversal?
I suppose it's one of those confusion points. So I feel like sometimes I feel insecure about recognizing the opportunity, and I'll waffle, and more often than not, I'll think of it as keeping it safe and not going for it. But maybe I should.
You actually play, but I know you only play online bridge. Have you ever played face-to-face bridge? That's interesting.
With friends and casually, but right. There are no clubs near me. No. Online is
online is good. How often do you get to play online? I mean, do you play like once a week or once a month?
Oh no, most days I play a few hands at least.
Oh, cool. And do you play with robots mainly, or friends, or
mostly robots? The folks I'd like to play with are probably sleeping most of my week.
Well, yeah, I mean, the 8 board is us advertising it here. The free ACL day-long tournament. I'll advertise it again. 8 boards a day. It's really good value.
Yeah.
And the robots actually play pretty well now. Their bidding's pretty good. So I might plug that again next week. As for now, Bashir, I will get on and make a cup of tea.
Wonderful. Well, you deserve it, Jack. Thank you again for a wonderful lesson.
Really enjoyed it, actually, and they're really fun hands. So, it's definitely my favourite time of the week, 9:30 on a Monday morning. I'll let you go and rest up. I got quite a lot of administration to doing. I was away at the weekend on half-term duty. Children are back at school now, so that's good. And, I'll be here same time, same place next week.
All right, everyone. We'll see you then, if not beforehand, on Wednesday. Thank you all.
Thanks a lot.